Hello scholars, welcome to the Dakshinai classroom. If you remember, in the last lecture we talked about what would happen if I place a magnetic dipole in an external magnetic field. So if I take a magnetic dipole of dipole moment m vector, then first thing we saw that dipole will experience some torque, and torque experienced by that dipole may be written as magnetic moment cross product with external uniform field. Now, we also talked about that if you place a magnetic dipole in a uniform magnetic field, then there is some potential energy associated with that magnetic dipole. And what is that potential energy? That potential energy may be written as minus of magnetic dipole moment dot product with external magnetic field. So these are the two things that we have studied in the last lecture. In today's lecture, we are going to talk about something which is very relevant to our day-to-day life. That is Earth's magnetic field. So it is found that Earth itself creates its own magnetic field. So Earth's magnetic field is present all around us. So in today's lecture, we are going to talk about properties of Earth's magnetic field, what is the reason for its existence, and how we can measure or how we find that how much is the magnetic field present in a region. So let us first list down the topics that we will cover in this lecture. So first topic that we will cover is Earth's magnetism. In this, we will talk about how much is this, where it is, what are the field lines, where is South Pole, where is North Pole, and etc. Second thing that we will talk about is reason for its existence or the origin of Earth's magnetic field. Because if there is a magnetic field, there be some must be some origin. In case of a current loop, it is because of the current. So what is the reason for existence of Earth's magnetic field, or you can write origin of Earth's magnetic field, no problem. And the third thing which we will talk about is, suppose I want to find the magnetic field, Earth's magnetic field in this room. Then there are few very important things that we need to know. If you know those things, we can perfectly define the Earth's magnetic field in this room. So third thing which we will talk about is elements of Earth's magnetic field. So in this, we will see what are the things that if you know those things, those elements, then you can perfectly define Earth's magnetic field in any area. Meaning, if I know those elements, if for this room at this point, I can define Earth's magnetic field in this room. So these are the three main topics that we are going to talk about in today's lecture. Pause the video, note it down, then we will start the first topic. Now let us talk about Earth's magnetic field. So here I have drawn a diagram that if you study, the Earth's magnetic field looks something like this. That here the field lines are entering, here the field lines are exiting. And these are the direction of field lines. Now how do I know that in which direction Earth's magnetic field lines will be moving? Or in which direction magnetic field lines are indicating? If you remember, we have already studied this in the previous lecture, that if you want to know the direction of magnetic field lines in any region, what you can do? You can use a compass needle. The north pole of the compass needle will point towards the direction of magnetic field. So if you want to know the Earth's magnetic field line direction, what you will do? You will take a compass needle and you will move around entire Earth. So whichever direction at each and every point your compass needle will point, that way you will get to know the magnetic field lines around the entire Earth. So this is a 2D thing, and if you see it in 3D, so there will be Earth and every around earth there will magnetic field lines like this. So here like this, here like this, here like this. So that's how you know that which direction magnetic field lines of earth will be pointing. So first thing you can note is that north pole of a magnetic compass needle will point towards the direction of earth's magnetic field. So you can write that north pole of compass needle will point towards the direction of Earth's magnetic field line. So if you want to know the direction of Earth's magnetic field at any point on the Earth, what you will do? You will take a compass, magnetic compass, and that compass needle north pole will point towards the direction of Earth's magnetic field. Given that there is no other source of magnetic field. For example, in this room, if I want to calculate which direction Earth's magnetic field is, so I will take a compass needle. The needle will show towards the direction of Earth's magnetic field. But if nearby that needle I placed a very strong bar magnet, then that bar magnet will deflect needle in the other direction. So this will only work if in nearby there is no other source of magnetic field. So if there is no other source, only Earth's magnetic field is present, then that needle will point towards the direction of Earth's magnetic field. Now, second thing, if you pay attention to the diagram that I have drawn here, what does these field lines look like? If you remember from the previous class, we had discussed how the magnetic field due to a magnetic dipole looks like. So if you pay attention, that looks like very similar to magnetic field due to a magnetic dipole. So Earth's magnetic field resembles that of a magnetic dipole. So if I want to find that how much magnetic dipole moment will produce same field as Earth's magnetic field. So if I calculate for Earth's magnetic field, it appears as if Earth's magnetic field is equivalent to if there is a magnetic dipole inside the Earth here. So which direction will be south pole of this magnetic dipole? See here the field lines are entering. So this will be south pole. Here the field lines are exiting. So this will be north pole. So the magnetic field lines of Earth resemble that of an imaginary dipole. Remember, there is no such dipole actually placed inside the Earth. There is no actual dipole, but they resemble that of a dipole placed inside the Earth. Now, what would be the dipole moment of this imaginary dipole? So let's write Earth's magnetic field resembles that of an imaginary dipole with dipole moment m equals 8 into 10 to the power 22 joule per Tesla placed at the center of Earth. So Earth's magnetic field resembles that of a magnetic dipole, and the south pole of that magnetic dipole should be here, north pole should be here. And what is the dipole moment of that imaginary dipole? Imaginary, why? Because no such dipole actually exists at the center. It is assumed that if a dipole of dipole moment 8 into 10 to the power 22 joule per Tesla is placed at the center, then its magnetic field will be same as that of the Earth. So here, Earth's magnetic field resembles that of an imaginary dipole with magnetic moment 8 into 10 to the power 22 joule per Tesla placed at the center of the Earth. Pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss further. Now let us talk about magnetic north pole and magnetic south pole. So how do we find where is magnetic north pole and where is magnetic south pole? Now if you remember, what we do is we take a magnetic needle and we move around the Earth. Whichever direction north pole is pointing, that is the direction of magnetic field. And here you can say first thing, second, third point, that magnetic north pole is defined as that if you take a needle and if that needle, north pole of that needle, magnetic needle, points exactly vertically downward like this. So the place at Earth where north pole of the needle points vertically downward, that point is defined as geomagnetic north pole. So you can write place where north of compass needle points vertically downward is called geomagnetic north. So here at this point, north pole of the needle will point towards the direction of magnetic field, and at this point the needle will become exactly vertical. So this point will be called your geomagnetic north. In the same way, you can write what would be geomagnetic south. So place where south of needle points vertically downward is called geomagnetic south pole. Now, why we are defining south pole as different, north pole as different from the geographical north and geographical south? The geographical north and geographical south are different from magnetic north and magnetic south. So, if I want to draw that geographical north and geographical south, if you remember, geographical north and south are defined based on axis of rotation, where magnetic north and magnetic south pole are defined based on magnetic field lines. So if I draw the axis of rotation, it would be something like this. So if the axis of rotation is like this, then here will be your geographical north, and here will be your geographical south, and this point is your magnetic south, and this point is your magnetic north. So actual geographical north and magnetic north are different points. They are not at the same point, they differ. And geographical south and magnetic south are different points. They are not at the same point, they differ. Now, one more point we can write, that if you see here, that this is your axis of rotation. geographical axis, you can say. And where is the magnetic axis? This is your magnetic axis. And if you can see, magnetic axis and geographical axis are not same. They are making a certain angle with each other. So you can say geographical axis and magnetic axis are at an angle of around 11.3 degrees. In some books there may be slight variation in values, and actually this value 11.3 degree, it continuously changes very slowly. So in like 100 years there will be significant change. So this value is continuously changing, but if in 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, there will not be very much change. So presently this value is around 11.3 degrees. So angle between geographical axis. What is geographical axis? The axis around which the earth rotates. Geographical axis and magnetic axis. How do you define magnetic axis? Here, the dipole. It is assumed that there is an imaginary dipole. So axis of that dipole, and magnetic axis is around 11.3 degrees. So this is around 11.3 degree, which is continuously changing, but for a short period of time. Short period means 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, or 1 hour, 2 hour. For that period of time, this 11.3 degree is considered to be constant. So angle between geographical axis and magnetic axis is 11.3 degrees. There might be slight variation in the data in different books, no problem. That much you can take. Pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss further. Now let us discuss what is the reason for the existence of Earth's magnetic field. Now this lecture will be mostly theoretical. There are not many numericals. Don't worry, in the end of this topic, that is Earth's magnetic field, there will be some numericals. So let us talk about the origin of Earth's magnetic field. Now, when you look at Earth's magnetic field, it resembles that of a bar magnet. So, when the scientific progress was not that much that we could actually find out what is the reason, we thought that there must be a very large bar magnet placed inside the earth with north like this and south like this. So this is the previous theory, that this was thought that there must be a very large bar magnet. Why it was thought like that? Because since the magnetic field of the earth resembles that of a bar magnet. So when you talk about origin of Earth's magnetic field, first thing you should note down is since Earth's field, when I say field, I am talking about magnetic field obviously. Since Earth's fields resembles that of a bar magnet, initially it was thought that there must be a large bar magnet buried inside the earth. Why? Because Earth's magnetic field and bar magnetic field both resemble each other. So people thought that okay, there must be a bar magnet buried inside, which is obviously not the reason why there is a magnetic field, because there is no evidence found to support this theory. There is no evidence. There is no evidence to support this. So obviously there is no evidence to support this theory that there must be a bar magnet, large bar magnet buried inside the earth. So that theory was disregarded. So there is no bar magnet. There is no bar magnet inside the earth. If there is no bar magnet, then what is the reason? What is the reason for the existence of Earth's magnetic field? Now, nobody actually knows why Earth has a magnetic field. But there is a theory which is most accepted by everybody. Nobody actually knows. There are serious shortcomings in that theory also. But one theory which is most widely accepted is the concept of molten elements, molten metal at the Earth's core. Now let us discuss how the presence of molten metals in the Earth's core explains Earth's magnetic field. So, first thing, in the Earth's core, metals like iron, nickel are present in molten state. So because there is a very high temperature, so these elements are present in molten state. So in Earth's core metals like iron, nickel are present in molten state. Why they are present in molten state? Due to very high temperature. Due to high temperature. Now how does this helps us to explain why the Earth has a magnetic field? Now if you have studied that when the metals are heated at very high temperature, what happens that you are supplying the energy, and in that case some of the electrons from the atoms of iron and nickel, they gain enough energy to escape the atom. So your iron and nickel atoms, they become ionized. Why they become ionized? Because at very high temperature, at that high temperature, they are able to accept or they are able to achieve ionization energy. So here you can write, due to high temperature, atoms of these metals become ionized. So due to high temperature, atoms of metals become ionized. Now we will discuss how ionized atoms or ions of the metal helps us to explain Earth's magnetic field. First, pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss further. Now let us discuss how the presence of ionized atoms explains the Earth's magnetic field. Now see here in the Earth's core, there will be a lot of ionized atom. Now Earth is rotating around its axis, and because of the rotation of the Earth, the molten state, the atoms which are there in the Earth's core, that molten fluid which has a lot of ionized atom, that will also rotate. So here we can say that because of the rotation of the Earth, these ionized atoms of iron, nickel, other elements, they also keep rotating in a circular motion. So we can say that due to rotation due to rotation of Earth, ionized atoms in Earth's core also rotate. So when the Earth rotate, ionized atoms also rotate with it. For example, you take a bucket of water, and when you rotate the bucket of water, water inside the bucket also rotates with some speed. Not the same speed, but some speed it rotates. In the same way, the Earth rotates, and with the speed, with the Earth's rotation, the molten lava present inside the Earth's core, there are ionized atoms. These atoms will also rotate. Their speed will not be same, but they will rotate nonetheless. So that, like that. And these are ionized atoms. They are charged particles. And whenever a charged particle rotates, a current is established. Or in the previous lectures, we have discussed that if a charged particle is going in a circular motion, then there is a magnetic field produced. There is a magnetic moment induced. So, because of the rotation of these ionized atoms, which are charged particle, there will be a magnetic field produced. So we can say these rotating like this, they are rotating like this. For example, if this is the core of the Earth, then your atoms, ionized atoms, they are rotating like this. So if this is the core, then your atoms are rotating in the circular motion. So since ionized atoms are rotating, these rotating ions produce magnetic field because they are moving charged particles, and rotating charged particles produce magnetic field that we have already discussed in the earlier lectures. So these rotating ions produce magnetic field, and this magnetic field produced by rotating ions appears as the magnetic field of the Earth. So here you can write this field produced by rotating ions appears as Earth's magnetic field. So this is how Earth's magnetic field is established. Now there are some drawbacks of this theory also. We will not going to be in detail of those drawbacks, but this is the most widely accepted theory. There are some drawbacks of this theory as well, but most widely accepted theory is this, that molten state, there are ions rotate. Because of the rotation, current is established. Because of that current, field is produced, and that field appears as the magnetic field of the Earth. You can pause the video, note it down. Now if I want to define Earth's magnetic field at any point on the Earth, for example, let us say I want to define Earth's magnetic field in this room, or if you want to define Earth's magnetic field at your home, then what are the things that you need to know in order to exactly tell me that, sir, at my home Earth's magnetic field is this much, this direction. So let us discuss what are the elements of Earth's magnetic field that you need to know in order to define Earth's magnetic field at any given point on the Earth. So there are three main aspects. There are three main elements of Earth's magnetic field that you need to know in order to exactly define Earth's magnetic field at any given point on the Earth. So first thing, first element of Earth's magnetic field is called something declination. Something called declination. What is declination? We will discuss right now. Declination. Now let us discuss what is declination. Now you must have studied geometrical or geographical meridian in your geography class. Now what is geographical meridian? Now geographical meridian is that from any point on the earth, if you take a plane, for example, if I take this plane, and this plane must pass through geographical north, geographical south, and the point where I want to know the Earth's magnetic field, or the point where I want to draw the geographical meridian. So for example, this is a sphere, right? This is a 2D diagram, but it will be a sphere. And here is a point in front. And I want to draw a geographical meridian from that point. So my planes should include or must include geographical south, geographical north, and that point here. So that is your geographical meridian. And what is your magnetic meridian? Magnetic meridian is same way. In geographical meridian should include geographical north pole, geographical south pole, and that point on the earth. For example, if you want to draw geographical meridian at your home, then what you will do, you will draw a plane. The plane passing through geographical north, geographical south, and your home. That will be your geographical meridian. Now what about magnetic meridian? Same way. Magnetic meridian would be a plane which will contain 3 points. What are those points? Magnetic north, magnetic south, and the point at your home. So for example, like this. So this is your magnetic meridian. This is your geographical meridian. Magnetic meridian, geographical meridian. So here is your point. So this is magnetic meridian. This is geographical meridian. So meridian, magnetic meridian and geographical meridian are two planes, two different planes. Whereas geographical meridian passes through geographical north, geographical south, and the point at your home. Magnetic meridian passes through magnetic north, magnetic south, and the point at your home. Now these two planes are not parallel to each other. See here. This is your magnetic meridian. This is your geographical meridian. So they are not parallel to each other. So they are at an angle with each other. So what we say that angle between geographical meridian and magnetic meridian at a given point on the earth is called declination or angle of declination at that point on the earth. So what is declination? Declination is angle between geographical meridian. How do you define geographical meridian? A plane containing geographical north, geographical south, and the point where you want to find. So geographical meridian and angle between geographical meridian and magnetic meridian is called, somewhere it is written angle of declination, sometimes it is written just declination, both are correct. Meridian is called declination at that point. Now, as you can guess, if I move at a different point. For example, from your home, you went to the COEs or you went to your Navodaya Vidyalaya. Then obviously your geographical meridian and magnetic meridian will change. And if the geographical meridian and magnetic meridian change, then the angle between them will also change. So this angle of declination will not be same everywhere. For example, here we have taken this for a point here, for a point like this. This is a sphere, so here it is a point, and this is your angle like this. Now let us say if I take a point here at this point, then what would be the plane? The plane will be like this. And this same plane will contain both geographical and magnetic meridian. So here at this point, for this point, the angle between geographical meridian and magnetic meridian is 0. So for this point, the declination is 0. For a point here, declination is like this. So declination is different at every point on the earth. Declination is not same for each and every point. For every point on the earth, angle of declination varies. That varies with time also and with every point also. Time variation is very slow. It will appear or it will be significant only in, let's say, 100 or 1000 years. So in 1 hour or 2 hour or 1 year also, declination will not vary very significantly. But each and every point on the earth, declination will be different. At your home it is different. In this room it is different. At your Navodaya Vidyalaya it is different. Everywhere it is different. So declination is different. You can write declination is different at different points. Let us write this as at different points on earth. So at every different point, declination will be different. Pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss further. Now let us talk about the second element of Earth's magnetic field, that is inclination or dip. Now we will discuss what is inclination. Sometimes it is written inclination, sometimes it is written dip. Both are correct. So what is inclination or dip and why it is? Now Earth's geographical shape or the shape of the earth is almost spherical with a little bit flat around the poles, but the magnetic field is not spherical. So the shape of the earth is spherical, but the shape of field is not spherical. Because of this reason, for example, if I talk about the direction of magnetic field at this room, in this room, or at your homes, so because the earth's shape and the direction of field, they are not same, the horizontal direction, if I talk about, let's say this is the horizontal direction at this point. So if this is the horizontal direction, then magnetic field will not be in the horizontal direction. So for example, let us say that this is earth, is spherical shape, almost spherical, and if the magnetic field was also spherical, for example, if the magnetic field was like this, concentric sphere, then at whichever point I draw tangent, both direction will be same. But magnetic field is not spherical. Magnetic field is other shape. So magnetic field is like this. And since magnetic field is not spherical, at any point on the earth, horizontal direction and the direction of field, they are not same. Meaning, at any point on the earth, magnetic field makes an angle with the horizontal direction in magnetic meridian. So why magnetic meridian? Because magnetic field always points towards the magnetic meridian. So for example, if I talk about this room, then here magnetic field will not be straight horizontal. It will be somewhere like this, around a little bit downward. So every point magnetic field is a little bit down or some angle. So the angle made by or the angle between the Earth's magnetic field at a point and horizontal. Now horizontal direction can be anything, na? This is also horizontal, this is also horizontal, here also horizontal. Which horizontal? Which horizontal we are talking about? We are talking about horizontal in the direction of magnetic meridian. So the angle between, what is inclination or dip? Inclination or dip is the angle between Earth's magnetic field, Earth's magnetic field and horizontal in magnetic meridian. Magnetic meridian is called inclination. You can write capital inclination or dip angle. So for example, here let us say this is the horizontal direction in the magnetic meridian. Why we are specifying in magnetic meridian? Because horizontal direction are everywhere, na, 360 degree. Which horizontal direction you will take? So if this is the magnetic meridian, then this horizontal direction. So this is the horizontal direction in magnetic meridian and this is the direction of magnetic field at this point. Then the angle between this horizontal direction and this magnetic field, which is which angle? This angle, delta. This angle is called your angle of inclination or angle of dip. Sometimes this angle is also written as simply capital I. No problem, both are same thing. So that way you define what is angle of inclination or what is angle of dip. Now there are two very important points which you can remember for this. Now at the magnetic pole, magnetic north or magnetic south, the horizontal line, and how do we define magnetic north or south? For magnetic north, we define that north pole points exactly downward. So if this is the horizontal line, this is the direction of field, then what is the angle? 90 degree. So at the magnetic north or magnetic south, you can say that angle of inclination or dip is how much? 90 degree. Why? Because this is horizontal and by definition this is the magnetic field line. So angle is 90 degree, vertically downward. So you can say at magnetic poles, dip angle, or just dip, you can write dip angle is 90 degree. So magnetic south and magnetic north, dip angle can be written as 90 degree. Now what about equator? Now if magnetic meridian and geographical meridian is different, then magnetic equator and geographical equator will also be different. Geographical equator is not same as magnetic equator. So you can find this, here we have written magnetic poles, not just geographical poles, magnetic pole. Magnetic south is different from geographical south. So if at magnetic poles dip angle is 90 degree, then what is the dip angle at magnetic equator? At magnetic equator, your horizontal line and your field direction are same. So at magnetic equator, you can say that this field will be in the horizontal direction. So here you can say at magnetic equator, dip angle or just dip is 0 degree, because at magnetic equator horizontal line and the direction of magnetic field will be same. Pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss the last element of Earth's magnetic field that you need in order to define the magnetic field of Earth at a point. Now let us discuss the third element of Earth's magnetic field. Now third element is very easy, that is called horizontal component. Horizontal component of Earth's field. Now what is this horizontal component? Now if you remember, we have already discussed that Earth's magnetic field is not exactly in the horizontal direction. It makes some angle with the horizontal, and this angle is called your dip angle or just the dip or inclination. So here there is a horizontal direction and there is a vertical direction, and this is your field, this is the dip angle or just the inclination. Now if I want, I can resolve Earth's magnetic field along vertical direction and along horizontal and along vertical direction. So you can write, we can resolve Earth's field along horizontal and vertical direction. So here BE, you can resolve BE along B horizontal and B vertical, because field is a vector quantity and here angle is given, so you can resolve. So horizontal component of Earth's field will be, this is BH, BH can be what? This is B. If you resolve BE along BH, this is your triangle, this is theta, BH will be equal to BE cos delta. So you can write that here, BH will be equal to BE cos delta, where what is delta? Delta is the angle between actual field and the horizontal direction, and we have already studied that is called dip angle or inclination or just the dip. So here you can write delta is dip angle or the inclination So that way you can find the horizontal component of the Earth's field, which will be what? BH will be equal to BE cos delta, where delta is dip angle or the inclination. You can pause the video and note it down. So in this lecture, we have talked about Earth's magnetic field. What are the properties of Earth's magnetic field? We also saw that magnetic poles are different from geographical poles. We also talked about the origin of Earth's magnetic field. Then we discussed what are the elements of Earth's fields that you need to know in order to define Earth's magnetic field at any given point. Now this topic, that is Earth's magnetic field, it is slightly more theoretical topic. There are not too many numericals in this topic. So you must revise the theory of these topics very properly. You must go through the concept. Just because it is a theoretical topic does not mean you should leave it, because sometimes they ask questions from this topic. In the next class, we will discuss a little bit more about Earth's magnetic field. Until then, revise your topics properly, and if you have a doubt, you can just drop me a message on your doubt group.